Sun-grown trichome, the root of all flavor. They said you can't mix science, soil, and swagger. He said, watch me. Meet sun-grown trichome, the philosopher farmer, the man who turned photosynthesis into profit. He don't chase trends, he cultivates them. Every leaf, a labor of love. Every puff, a little enlightenment. Introducing the root of all flavor, TM. Part art, part hustle, all heart. Hand-harvested, sun-blessed. Guaranteed to make you breathe deeper and think slower. Patience ain't a virtue, it's a process. He's the godfather of the greenhouse, the horticultural Houdini, the man who taught nature how to mind its business. Sun-grown trichome, the root of all flavor. Grown honest, rolled legendary.
Mugs, what the fuck you doing in there, you prick?
The River Syndicate. The Missouri Corridor, power between the cities. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DePrio. The Midwest is often described as America's backbone. Hardworking. Practical. Stable. But stability has a shadow. Between Kansas City and Omaha, along the Missouri River, a structured network of organized crime developed quietly in the 20th century. It was never the largest, never the loudest, but for decades it was one of the most disciplined. This is the story of how geography, economics, and psychology created the River Syndicate. Geography is destiny. The Missouri River has always been more than scenery. It is a transport corridor, a commercial artery, a boundary and a bridge. Kansas City became a powerhouse of railroads and stockyards in the early 20th century. Omaha mirrored it with meat packing, rail transport, and strong immigrant communities. Italian-American neighborhoods formed in both cities. Social clubs followed, mutual aid societies, business alliances. When Prohibition arrived in 1920, these communities were uniquely positioned. Liquor moved through. Rail systems. River transport. Rural highways. Agricultural storage facilities. Council Bluffs, Iowa became a strategic extension, not a headquarters. A buffer zone. Prohibition transformed small-scale rackets into structured enterprises. Crime became corporate. Kansas City's strategic leadership. Anthony Joseph Civella emerged as a defining Midwestern crime leader. Unlike volatile bosses on the coasts, Civella's Kansas City family focused on sustainability. Operations included illegal bookmaking, casino skimming operations tied to Las Vegas, labor racketeering, influence within construction and development. Kansas City's political climate under Tom Pendergast earlier in the century normalized corruption. By mid-century, organized crime was less about street violence and more about embedded influence. The River Syndicate model was simple. Minimize visibility. Maximize revenue. Avoid ego wars. Omaha's parallel structure. Anthony Bias led Omaha's organized crime structure during its most stable years. Omaha's Italian-American network worked in coordination with Kansas City. Western Iowa, especially Council Bluffs, became economically useful. Why? Because rural regions are less saturated with federal resources. Loan sharking in agricultural communities created long-term leverage. Illegal gambling operations in smaller towns generated steady cash without attracting national media. The system was designed to blend in. The business mechanics. The River Syndicate operated through predictable revenue streams. Gambling. Bookmaking rings handled sports betting across state lines. Numbers games operated quietly. Money moved through coded ledgers. Loan sharking. High-interest loans created psychological dependency. Debt is a silent weapon. It does not require guns. It requires time. Labor influence. Midwestern unions in certain industries, particularly transportation and construction, became points of leverage. Unlike New York's dramatic union wars, Midwestern labor influence often occurred through negotiated compliance. The psychology of low-visibility crime. The Midwest environment shaped behavior. Small cities amplify social consequences. Violence creates attention. Attention brings federal scrutiny. So the River Syndicate prioritized reputation over intimidation, financial pressure over physical coercion, influence over spectacle. In criminology, this is consistent with organized crime groups that operate in low-density environments. Visibility equals vulnerability. The Missouri corridor thrived because it stayed boring. Predictable. Structured. Quiet. They told you wrestling was about glory. They showed you the lights, the pyro, the gold belts, the entrance music. But they never told you about the pain behind the curtain. On March 2nd, we pull back the curtain. Expired professional wrestler Joe Bruno. A man who's taken more bumps than a Jersey pothole in February. A man who's bled under the lights and paid the price when they shut off. And sitting across from him, Bambi Palermo. Sharp, fearless, no soft questions. Because this ain't kayfabe, this is the truth. What really happens after the crowd goes home? Who protects the protectors? And what does the squared circle take from you that it never gives back? From championship highs, to broken bodies, to backstage politics that hit harder than any steel chair, Joe Bruno tells it all. No scripts. No gimmicks. No mercy. This ain't about wrestling. It's about survival. It's about ego. It's about what happens when the spotlight fades and you're left alone with the damage. March 2nd, 11 a.m. Central, 12 p.m. Eastern. Streaming on YouTube. The dark side of the squared circle, where legends talk. And the truth hits harder than the mat. A Pizzaverse Studios and Palermo Productions podcast. Federal evolution. The 1970s marked a shift. The Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO, transformed prosecution strategy. Instead of charging isolated crimes, federal authorities targeted enterprise structures. Wiretaps expanded. Financial trails were examined. Informants became central tools. Civella and other Midwestern leaders faced federal cases that weakened centralized authority. The corridor could not survive without coordination. Without leadership, satellite regions like Western Iowa lost cohesion. The River Syndicate did not collapse dramatically. It dissolved. Why it matters. The River Syndicate teaches an important lesson. Organized crime adapts to environment. In New York, dominance required visibility. In Chicago, violence established hierarchy. In the Midwest, stability built longevity. The absence of headlines is not the absence of crime. It is sometimes evidence of sophistication. The Missouri River still flows. Kansas City and Omaha still thrive. Council Bluffs still stands across the water. The structured criminal enterprise that once operated between them has faded into history. But the blueprint remains. Geography. Discipline. Silence. The River Syndicate was never about spectacle. It was about control. And sometimes, control makes no noise at all. From Pizzaverse Studios, a Palermo Productions crime documentary. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DiPrio. Thanks for watching. If you value serious crime history, if you appreciate analysis beyond Hollywood mythology, subscribe. Support independent storytelling. And join us for the next chapter. For decades, the Midwest operated in silence. Kansas City, Omaha, Western Iowa. No machine gun headlines. No public blood feuds. Just ledgers. Just loans. Just quiet control. But silence has a weakness. It leaves a paper trail. In 1970, the federal government changed the rules. The Racketeer-Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act, RICO. It wasn't designed to catch a single bookmaker. It was designed to dismantle systems, to pull threads, to expose structure. For years, organized crime in the Midwest survived because it looked ordinary. A handshake in a back office. A union vote. A construction contract. A gambling debt quietly settled. But wiretaps don't care about appearances. Grand juries don't respect reputation. And financial records don't forget. When RICO came to the coasts, it was war. When RICO came to the Midwest, it was surgery. Slow. Methodical. Controlled. Courtroom testimony replaced backroom negotiations. Federal indictments replaced reputation. And the structure that had survived by avoiding headlines finally made them. This is not a story about shootouts. It is a story about evolution, about how organized crime professionalized itself, and how federal prosecution learned to do the same. Because when enterprise crime meets enterprise law, the battlefield changes. The river still flows. The cornfields still stand. But the quiet empire that once operated between them could not survive the light. From Pizzaverse Studios, a Palermo Productions crime documentary. Written by Bambi Palermo. Narrated by Vincent DePrio. Rico comes to the cornfields when silence met surveillance. Coming soon.
Trying to shoot down angels, they're trying to pull their wings off so they can't fly. And oh, but she's so brave though, just like a tornado, she's taking us by storm. You can't stop the thought from going, you can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. They're trying to take our voices, they're trying to make our choices, so we scream loud, loud, loud. And oh, I know you feel the lightning, and it's so exciting, so here we come. You can't stop the thought from going, you can't stop the world from knowing the truth will set you free. You feel the lightning, it's so exciting, so here we come.